video. Today I've been asked by Relly at Fish Keeping Jamaica to answer a short survey, and in the survey Relly has asked me what I would do with my aquarium water should I find a dead fish. Well, the first thing I want to think about is whether the fish itself may have been unhealthy due to things that I can't control, or is it the aquarium that's made this fish unhealthy that's caused it to die. So depending on which one of those things it is, and let's say I think that tank could be the problem, the first thing I would do is water changing. Now I wouldn't change a big change all in one hit. I would do a series of small water changes over a series of days, and that allows the tank to gradually improve, as well as giving all the other fish, which I hope are in good health, no great degree of unnecessary stress. But over a series of days, a series of water changes. Also, what I would do is stop feeding the fish immediately. Fish will never starve while you have an aquarium, so to have them without any food and fasting for 3, 4, 5 days whilst you're looking at the tank looking for potential problems is always a good thing to do. And if it all turns out okay after water changes and fasting, then I would go back to a regular routine of once a week water changing and a moderate amount of food every day, and take it from there. Second question really asked was, what is my most expendable fish? And of course I don't like any fish to be really expendable, but say for example you're setting up a new aquarium, and in a new aquarium it's going through its nitrogen cycle, the tank is not stable at this point, I'd probably always go for a female guppy as a fish which is inexpensive and they're super tough. So as an expendable fish, if I had to choose one, it would be a female guppy. So thank you really for the survey, and I hope those answers help some people. So thank you for that, and all the very best to everyone.
If you find your fish dead, what do you do next? What is your first steps? Do you do a water change? What do you do?
Me personally, I don't bother treating it. Reason being, quarantine the fish first. Once you've gone through your quarantine process, introduce them to your main tank. Yes, you may still have some fish die, and you may not get rid of all the problems. You've eliminated a lot of them, which in theory should make it that you do not have to worry about your main tank needing a full medication. So what do? I just simply do a water change after I've removed the dead fish. But make sure you keep an eye on it, because you don't want one dead as such and rotting away in there, because you can get some slight parameter and spikes which can cause some other issues. Hence why I still do the water change anyhow.
Man, Mr. Riley, you're firing on all cylinders with these questions.
So that's number one. His other question was, what was your most expendable fish, or what would you class as an expendable fish? None for me. They're all the same. Yeah, there's species that I might find dull and boring and I'm not interested in. But still, even though I keep some of those dull, boring ones, i.e. like guppies, they might be colourful and exotic and nice looking to some, but to me they're quite boring because they're just not my type. But I breed them because I like a certain colour in them, and this is something fun to keep and easy around where I am. Doesn't mean I just treat them as an expendable fish. So in my mind, no, none of them are expendable at all. So, without any more, I shall get back to catching up with my fish room. Thanks for watching, Max Fisher out.
How do you manage aquarium water if you find a dead fish?
Before I get into this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to Riley from Fish Keeping Jamaica for having me over to here and to show my love and appreciation to you. Thank you very much, Riley. I am truly privileged yet again to be here once again on your awesome channel. Thank you, Riley. Now let's get to it. So first thing I want to do is, when I see a dead fish in any of my aquariums, is take that dead fish out. As we know, fish release ammonia and oils into the water. So dead fish out. Second of all, water tests. So I would be doing tests for ammonia and see what readings I get from there. If the readings are all good and I do not have any ammonia, then I do not need to take really any further actions. I can, however, if I wanted to take a precaution, is add in perhaps some arm guard or some stability, perhaps safe. Another thing I do avoid doing is when there has been a dead fish in the aquarium is I do not feed my fish. So before I do jump into feeding the fish, I always look at the aquarium, look around, see if I can look in the back and in the little nooks and crannies if there are any fish that are dead. Try to see if all the fish are alive, active, how are they doing, are they active, are they looking sorry for themselves, etc. Then I would know whether I can feed the fish or not. But if there are any dead fish in the aquarium, then I do not feed the fish at all. I skip that day or perhaps a couple of days, then just to ensure myself that everything is all right. Now, a water change could be necessary, but then again, that all depends on whether we're getting a reading for ammonia or not.
What fish would you refer to as your most expendable fish?
That does not necessarily mean that it is my most expensive fish. To me, it's not about which one is my most expensive fish or which one is my most inexpensive fish. An expendable fish to me is mainly fish such as the Protomelas redemperis. Now, that particular harp, as I've noticed from my own personal experience here in the UK, any fish stores I've been to, so all the LFS are all my local LFS really, and some that require a couple of hours drive, I have made calls to find out whether they have any in stock, etc. I've asked them if they could get them, and the outcome is they would always say to me, yeah, we can try to get them in for you, etc. But it is really one of those fish where you may get them and then for the next 2 years or 3 years you cannot find them. So it is a relatively rare fish here in the UK or in Scotland. I don't know so much about England, so I do apologise. I do not mean to be so ignorant there, but again, I'm living in Scotland, I do not live in England, so I do not really have the need to look to see what's it like there in terms of buying fish, as I'm not for driving 6 or 8 hours and then doing another 6-8 hours on the way back now. So that would be my most expendable fish. Now, I do not have any red empress in this aquarium here. However, I do have them in my grow out and they will be going into here very soon. So that, not to keep this video going on too long, as Riley has asked me to do a very short video, I just want to wrap it up here. If there's anything else that you're wanting to know, leave down in the comments. I'm sure Riley can answer them for you, or if you just want to come over to my channel and leave in the comments on any video, really, it doesn't need to be a specific video. I will be more than happy to answer them, and I love when you come and visit my channel and show that love and support. But if you can do me a huge favor, show Riley from Fish Keeping Jamaica your love and support. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and Riley, thank you so much for having me on your channel yet again. Take care, much love to you all, stay safe, bye.